Hello, everyone. Kunimitsu here. You read the title of the video. You should immediately know what this topic is going to be about, but for those who don't bother doing that stuff, which is absolutely fine, I don't expect nobody to read. This topic today is going to be about a certain part of the fan base within the RuPaul's Drag Race fandom. Now, we all know the racist part of the fan base is certainly something to be called out, and it is certainly something not to be tolerated. But instead of wasting your time on posting a video that pretty much says the same thing that we've heard over and over and over again, I'm going to instead be talking about the other side to the fan base. You read the title of the video. We talk about the woke side of the fan base. Where do we start with the problems with this part of the fan base? And why I personally feel this side of the fan base should be called out a lot more often than it actually is. Firstly, the woke part of the fan base is also toxic, but it is toxic in a different way. For example, just like the racist part of the fan base, the woke side of the fan base is very well known for also sending death threats, also leaking people's private information, meaning doxing. They are also responsible for sending extreme amounts of harassment to queens as well. They are also known to encourage bullying on heavy levels. They are known to encourage many things, and they are never somebody who has the community's best interest at heart. I will list examples right here. For example, when Eureka was getting a lot of shit during her season, specifically season 10, what was the thing she got day in and day out? Nonstop death threats, nonstop people telling her, I wish you broke your knee again, nonstop people harassing her on a daily basis, nonstop people bullying her page. It got to the point where Eureka had to actually call out this part of the fan base, because this part of the fan base also thought it was a good idea to contact her mother and send horrific messages to, mind you, since people seem to forget this aspect, Eureka's dying mother, who was terminally ill around the time she received all that hate, and she didn't even do anything. This is one example of it. Another example is India Farah. India Farah has received mountains upon mountains upon mountains of death threats, a lot of which do refer to her skin color. Now, I know y'all are going to come up in my comment section and say racism doesn't exist for white people, blah, 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 blah. But I really don't know what else to call it when the comment itself is literally saying, I hope you die in a car crash and your white skin melts like candle wax. I don't know what else to call that but racism. These side of the fan base have also been known to harass many people. For example, we all know this story by now, Tyra Sanchez. Anybody who's been paying attention to Tyra recently, or as he prefers to be called, James, you would know he's been in a lot of stuff. From vandalizing private property, from death threats themselves, which again, I understand Tyra is a special case, and I understand that Tyra has received hate upon hate upon hate upon hate since day one. But you also got to remember this person also participates in that stuff. And that doesn't help anybody. This person's fans, which by the way, I pay attention to their page. These fans who are openly woke and identify as such encouraged Tyra to leak Raven's phone number, to leak Tatiana's number, to leak World of Wonder's number, to leak RuPaul's number. These fans are toxic. These fans go out of their way to harass people to the day they die. These fans also known to dox people on a daily basis. These people are also known to send death threats. They also have extremely deep hatred for white folks. Extreme hatred for them. I don't encourage hatred of any kind. I don't encourage hatred sent towards Black folks, and I don't encourage hatred sent towards white folks either. But this part of the fan base is something that is never called out, because this part of the fan base is always angry about something, always fighting about something, always wanting to start shit about something, and they act like they're all for the cause, but they're the same fucking people who were harassing Nina Bonina Brown. Oh yeah, I'm bringing that up too. The woke part of the fan base has been harassing Nina since the early fucking days of season 9. The woke part of the fan base has sent her death threat after death threat after death threat. They have harassed her page, called her racial slurs, all that stuff. And the people that you praise, that you see as woke people, what do? Oh, that's right. Encourage it. Yeah, I'm talking about you, Rose. Did we forget your tweet literally said you absolutely deserve all the hatred you're getting right now? So by that logic, you are condoning fans to call Nina Bonina Brown the N-word. You are condoning fans calling Nina a monkey. You are condoning fans for sending these awful death threats to Nina. You are condoning it. You sit here and you think the racist part of the fan base is the worst part, which, don't get me wrong, it's fucking terrible. And it is something that I 100% agree with being called out, but so does this part of the fan base. This part of the fan base is just as bad. This part of the fan base also sends death threats, also harasses people, also attacks people based on race, also has a superiority complex where they think they can never be fucking wrong. Everything they say is right, and if you disagree with them, you're a bigot. If you disagree with them, you're a racist. If you disagree with them, you're transphobic. If you disagree with them, you're homophobic. And that's just not how disagreements work, sweetheart. It just isn't. And these people will go on witch hunts on top of that. These people are the ones that go on witch hunts. These people are the ones that publicly post pictures of people from shit they've done 10 years ago, and will be the ones that say, oh, hey, Dragonfire. And they'll be the ones that say, this person is racist because they said this 10 years ago. This person is transphobic because they said this 10 years ago. This person is homophobic because they said this 10 years ago. It's like growth does not exist with these people. It's one thing to just simply call somebody out and say this was not okay and just not agree with what they do. That's fine. But it gets taken a step too far when you're contacting someone's mother over it, sending this person death threats, sending this person nonstop harassment. Because when you start doing all of that, it goes against what you're trying to do. You sit here and say you're a social justice warrior and that all you want is to be politically correct, but you're breaking your own fucking rules. You sit here and say you're against death threats, but you also participate in said things. Y'all also say that you don't like it when people's personal shit gets leaked, which again, agree, but y'all also participate in that. Y'all sit here and say anybody who defends themselves is just being nasty and arrogant, but have y'all seen yourselves talk? Because apparently, in your opinion, y'all are never wrong. Y'all never make a mistake. Like that's how it is. You make one mistake in your entire lifetime, and immediately people hate you. Immediately people will label you as that thing for the rest of your fucking life. And it's terrible. Not to mention, this part of the fan base also throws around the term racism so much that it's damn near lost all meaning. It does not everything that is said out of hatred or malice. Not everybody who might not particularly like a certain queen, do they dislike that queen because they are Black, because they are trans, because they are white, because they are Latina, because they are Asian. None of that comes into play. A lot of times this comes in because people don't like the people. For example, Gia Gunn. Not a lot of people like her at the moment, and it has nothing to do with what she is. Even yesterday, I was just on Instagram and it was a post saying toot or boot, do you like the outfit? Do you not like the outfit from the show? And it happened to be from the first trans male contestant on the show. I didn't particularly like the outfit and the person called me transphobic for it, seeming to forget that I'm also a trans woman and I had nothing to say about the actual person's body. But continuing on, this part of the fan base, when I say they will witch hunt you until the day you die, they do. To this day, Eureka still receives those messages. To this day, India Farah still receives those messages. I literally had a conversation with somebody on Instagram over this shit, and they couldn't even give me a straight answer. They couldn't defend anything I said. They couldn't counter anything I said. Nothing. I pointed this out and they're like, oh, you're tone deaf. Don't compare it to this. I'm not comparing it to it. It's the truth. And this person said, I have no sympathy for Eureka because she's this, this, and this. That's fine. You don't have to like Eureka. Nobody is saying that you do. If you don't like her, you don't like Gia Gunn, you don't like the Vixen, you don't like this, then fine. Don't follow them. It's not that hard. And I'm so sick and tired. Every fucking time there's a post about the followers that a queen has, it's always the same fucking thing. This queen has this amount of followers only because she's white. Not taking into effect that Eureka's been on 3 seasons, so it makes sense why she's there. Ginger Minj also appeared on 3 fucking seasons. Raja O'Hara might be doing great at the moment, but you also got to keep in mind that while her track record is amazing on All Star 6, and I wish for her to have more followers, I can't be surprised that she's not having that much followers because she's not really standing out in the season. Yes, she's performing amazingly. Yes, her track record is amazing, but nothing of her stands out beyond that. There's not that much story told about her. Yeah, we get that one episode where she talks about her mom, but that's one episode. Compare that to Sonique, who has had multiple episodes this season showing off who she is, showing off where she came from, and showing off where she grown. Raja has grown, absolutely, but just because she's nicer this season doesn't mean she should get followers based on that. She should get followers based on if people actually like her. Not every single time does you not following somebody equate to you don't follow them because they're Black. That is the dumbest thing I've ever fucking heard. Dumbest thing I've ever heard. Does race play into who people follow? Yeah, some people. Obviously, it's going to play into the KKK. It would make sense why the KKK's following list is not going to be to have anybody of color. In the same aspect that the new Black Panthers not following white folks makes sense. They've openly said they hate white folks, just like the KKK hate Black folks. And this is the main problem I have with people who are woke. Now, before I continue, I should say this now. Not every single person who identifies as woke fits this category. There are people online who identify as such that are chill, respectful, civil, and understanding. But those are not the people we are talking about. We are talking about the toxic side that nobody seems to talk about. Nobody seems to mention ever, especially in the RuPaul's Drag Race fandom. The thing I hate the most about this part of the fandom is there's no pleasing them. They'll be the ones that will sit here and demand an apology and will harass you until you give an apology, and then will get pissed off if the apology is not up to their standards and will continue to harass this person to the day they die. Which again, you don't have to accept an apology. You don't have to forgive the person if you don't want to. That's absolutely fine. But if you're still going to continue to harass that person, continue to still send death threats to that person, even after they did exactly what you wanted them to do, it makes you look stupid. It makes the entire community look fucking stupid. And it makes us look like fucking children to the entire, we want equality. Yes, we fucking do. We want equality. We don't stand for racism. We don't stand for homophobia. We don't stand for transphobia. We don't stand for any kind of phobia that isn't arachnophobia. But continuing on, we don't stand for that stuff. But we're not going to get equality if every single time we keep pushing people away because we don't like how they said a certain thing. I'm sorry. Expecting someone to apologize because you misinterpreted what they said when you don't even know that person is what is annoying. Because they should not have to apologize if the original intent behind a comment was not meant in the way that you are accusing them of being. Do I agree certain comments could have absolutely been worded better? Yes, absolutely. And I just want to say something. Continuing talking about what I have a problem with woke people. Let this sink in. I don't agree with every single thing Bad Baby has done. I don't agree with every single thing Bad Baby has said. But you have to remember this. Millions of people online who are well above this person's age have been harassing Bad Baby since she got on the goddamn scene. And you know what's interesting? Bad Baby only recently turned 18. So by that logic, the woke people, the one that say they fight for these rights, that fight for these rights, are the same people that have been threatening to beat the shit out of a minor for years. And y'all sit here and say, you're the good guys, but it's okay to bully minors. It's okay to leak a minor's address. It's okay to threaten to beat the shit out of a minor. It's okay to threaten physical harm on them because they don't follow exactly what you want them to follow. And then you get angry when this person tries to explain themselves and you're sending constant harassing comments in the live stream. And you expect her to respond politely when you're telling her, I'm going to rip your hair straight out of your head because you don't like what she's wearing. You don't have to agree with what she's wearing. If you think what she's wearing is cultural appropriation, then you have every right to feel that way. That is your opinion. That is your right to that opinion. But you do not get to threaten a minor, threaten physical harm on a minor because they are wearing said hairstyle. You don't get to do that. And that's what they do. And it's the same shit they do to the Drag Race queens. They send them hate. They send them physical threats. They send them death threats. They dox their numbers. They dox their addresses. They will harass people and cause big witch hunts. Big, big witch hunts. Sometimes even causing said queen to quit drag altogether. Look what happened to Magnolia Crawford. She doesn't do this shit no more because of people like you. Look at India Farah. She quit at one point because of people like you. Now, don't get me wrong. I don't agree with every single thing India Farah has said and done. I don't agree with every single thing that India Farah has put out there. But what she does not deserve is death threats, threats of physical violence, or just damn right harassing messages. Y'all bitches do this shit every fucking year. And don't get me wrong, I'm on your side calling out the racist part of the fandom, because the racist part of the fandom needs to be called out as well. I 100% agree with that. But we also need to call out this part of the fandom too. We can't let them slide because they're quote unquote woke. No. Just because you have SJW on your profile or your pronouns in your profile, or you identify as woke, or you're sitting here trying to fight for someone's rights, that does not give you the right to send a death threat. That does not give you the pass to start harassing somebody. That does not give you the pass to start doxing somebody. That does not give you the pass to put your hands on somebody or threaten to do so. That does not give you the pass to threaten to kill someone or attempt to kill someone in some cases. It doesn't. And this is another thing, since people seem to forget this part of the fan base has one major problem. They lie all the fucking time. There are lies that they will put out there to harass people for years. And they've been doing this for years. This is not new. This is not a brand new topic. This is the problems with this fan base. The racist part of the fan base hates Black folks. This woke part of the fan base hates white people. Both sides of the fan base have a problem with doxing, with death threats, with physical threats, with harassing, with witch hunts. Both sides are terrible. They are both sides of the same coin. Both evil, both corrupt, both twisted, both malicious, and both completely egotistical. They're awful. And I'm sorry. I'm not going to care if somebody says, oh, what about this, this, and this? Because I said what I said. The racist part of the fan base is terrible. I agree. I'm never going to say I disagree with that. But I am also going to stand my ground and say, so is the woke part of the fan base. You're not going to change my mind because I've seen it firsthand. I've experienced it firsthand. I've seen them talk the exact same way. They talk exactly the same as the racist part of the fan base. The only difference is who they target. That's it. Because they both dox, they both send death threats, they both harass people, they both do witch hunts. They both are terrible. And both sides of the fan base need to be held accountable, not just the racist side. So does the woke side. That's this video. Thank you for watching. Have a great day.